Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on my channel. I'm Tyrone Sasha and you are watching String Machine. And in today's episode we are going to look further into the preparation actually to discuss the modes. We're not discussing modes today, but we're discussing some topics that is good to have mastered and understood before we go further into the discussion of the modes. And that is actually chords. How to build chords. That's what we're going to do in this episode. Alright, let's dive right into it. The question is, how do you actually come up with chords? How do you build chords? And the question or the answer to that question is simply by stacking thirds. Stacking thirds, that's all it is. A simple example I give you is, for example, take your A minor scale, okay? Now a sound. Okay, A minor. Okay, so when you look at the A minor scale, what you're actually having is you have the root, the 1, you have the major second, okay, the minor third, the perfect fourth, the perfect fifth, the minor 6, the minor 7, and then the octave, which basically is the root note again. Okay? So stacking thirds basically means, in the most simple way, you have your scale and you're leaving every second note out, or basically you always jump one off the scale. Okay? So what does that mean? So you're starting with the 1, okay? So you jump 1, so you skip the major second, but you play or you integrate the minor third, okay? So that's part of the chord. Next one is the perfect fourth. You skip the perfect fourth and play the next one. That is the perfect fifth. Okay, so now you have a triad. You have root, minor third, and fifth. Okay, got it? Good. In a guitar, you always have the problem that, for example, here, the minor third in this case, you can't play in that position, but you can play it in a different position. You can play it like, swap it over here. Right? So. And this here is your 5. You also swap it over there. You could play it like this. So you have an A minor triad here. Okay? So this is basically by just stacking thirds. Okay? So we're with the 5 now. We could continue with this. We could now go and skip the minor 6, but integrate the minor 7. Right? So we have So that would be another possibility that says like the modern chords are not triads, but they're like with fourth. That's what the modern chords are. Usually you have a triad and a 7 integrated, right? So this would be then a minor 7. But again, you have the problem here. It's like you can't play the third. What are you doing with the third? It's a very simple thing. Put the third in the octave. Look. That's a third here again in the octave. And then it works. Right? Okay? And that's it. And that's a sound you've heard before. Okay? I do a clean tone so you can hear it a little bit better. Here, nice clean tone. Okay? A minor 7 extracted from an A minor scale by stacking thirds. Okay? Stacking thirds in terms of simply take a basic scale or take your scale that you want to extract the chord from and leave every other or skip every other note. Right? That's what we're basically doing. Let's do another one. Since we're now doing this in E minor, or sorry, in A minor, let's do it with a C major scale. C major scale we have here. Root, the C, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seven, and the octave. So what happens now if we skip every other note? So you start with the root, with the C, we skip the second, the major second, we play the third. In this case, now it's a major third because we are extracting from the major scale, from the C major scale. So we have a major third here. We skip the perfect fourth, we integrate the perfect fifth, we skip the major sixth, and we integrate the major seven. And again, that would be the arpeggio here. Yeah, how to play that? Right. What we do is we move the third in the octave so that we can play it better, and that would be that chord here. Right? And this is your C major 7 chord. What many people do play in this fashion here. Leave the 5 out here, because you do with the 5 the same thing as you do with the third. This is the 5 here again. It sounds a little bit nicer as when you use the lower 5. Look, it's possible, but this is the usual way to play that. Okay? And that is basically all there is in building chords from scales. Take any scale, right? Skip every other note, yeah? And that's and what you're ending up is like with stacking thirds anyway. And so you can build your basic chords here. I do another one. I use now a more uncommon scale. I use the harmonic minor scale. Let's do that with the A harmonic minor scale. Let's have a look what happens. We have the root, the major second, the minor third, play again, here goes the minor third, the perfect fourth, the perfect fifth, the minor sixth, and that is typical for harmonic minor, the major 7. Okay. So what happens if we are now skipping every second note? Let's have a look. Root, the A, skip the major second, integrate the minor third, skip the perfect 4, integrate the perfect fifth, skip the minor 6, integrate the major 7. So that's an odd one, isn't it? So next one that we do is move the third in the octave so that we can play it on the guitar. And the chord that we are now ending up with is this here. That chord is called A minor major 7. Again, A minor, because it's integrated a minor third. A minor, but it integrates also a major 7. And as said, this chord is called A minor major 7. This is how you're ending up with your basic chords. But it goes further. So modern chords are built out of 4 individual notes, basically. It's always like the root, the third, the fifth and the 7th. But you can use all the other tones in the scale as well, of course. And these notes are called, or these tones are called extensions. So how do you get to the extensions? Very simple. You continue stacking thirds. And if you noticed already, so if you do that, it's like we have 1, 3, 5, 7. So it always goes in steps by 2, right? Starting from 1, and you always add 2. So 1, 3, 5, 7. What happens if we continue with that? We skip every other note. Yeah? The next one would be the octave. Okay? We skip the octave in this case and we continue with the major second in this case. Yeah? But the major second in the octave is called the 9. Okay? And so you go with your extensions. Now you have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay? And that would be then an A minor 7-9 chord. I play it in a different position. A chord that you know as well, you've heard many times before. A very beautiful chord. Or you can play it here. So basically the 9 is a second. Okay? A second in the octave. And it goes wonderfully in line with the row of numbers that we were just looking at, because you have 1, 3, plus 2 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So now you can continue, right? So we have with the 9, we would skip the minor third now, okay, and we would integrate the perfect fourth in the octave. And that would then be in accordance with that row of numbers. 1, 3, plus 2 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 2 is, guess what? 11. Okay? Always in the octave. And you heard those numbers before. If you say like, okay, let's play an A minor 7-11 chord, for example. That would be that one. Yeah? That's the 4 here, and it's put in the octave. Yeah? And that's how these numbers come together. The next one would be the 13. That's basically the 6 in the octave, right? And then again, skip every other note, do this over 2 octaves, yeah, and then you're back in the row again. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 2 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus 2 is 9, plus 2 is 11, plus 2 is, now I have to look, 13, minor 13, right? And that's a 7 here, and then plus 2 would be the second octave again. All right? 15, but okay, somehow you have to stop there. All right? So this is how it goes. For the extensions, however, you usually don't use all the extensions. So you have your bass chord. That's usually either a triad, or in modern music it's a 4 chord with 4 individual tones, basically up to the 7, and then depending on which flavor you want to give them, you add either a 13 or a 9 or 11 or something, or maybe sometimes 2, but it's not that common. You know? So you usually have A minor 11, you know, or A minor 7 11, you know? Or you have an A minor 9 or minor 7 9. Yeah, something like that. You could also come up with an A minor 13, or it doesn't sound too nice, but it sounds good with the major 13. You've heard this one before, for example, right? That depends on which scale you are actually using to build your chord, and which extensions are derived from that specific scale. And this is where the modes come in, right? And that's something that we do in another episode. For now, just for you to understand how to build chords and how to add the extensions 11, 9, 13 to these chords, and where these numbers are coming from, etc. I think that's pretty straightforward. I hope this helps. Yeah, that was it for today's episode, actually. So please don't forget to like and subscribe, and put a thumbs up, leave comments. As always, it helps this channel. And I'm saying for now, as always, so long.